The story of a towering and groundbreaking figure in the world of sports. Pat Summitt has died. And ABC's Robin Roberts, who had a special relationship with the coach, looks back tonight.
Night, everybody!
A legendary, unstoppable force, a pioneer in women's sports, and a fierce competitor.
I don't know about y'all, but I want to win a national championship.
Pat Summitt coached the University of Tennessee's Lady Vols to 8 national championships. She was an inspiration to millions and a longtime dear friend.
How you doing?
So good to see you. 38 seasons with more than 1,000 victories, Pat Summitt is the winningest basketball coach in Division I history, men's or women.
Where you get after her?
Pat Summitt and Destiny.
But in 2011, Pat took on her most daunting opponent, Alzheimer's. When did you know that something wasn't right?
I'd wake up in the morning and, I'd think, where am I? I'd have to gather myself. I just didn't feel right.
Concerned about the disorientation and other signs like losing her keys and forgetting her schedule, Pat sought a leading specialist at the Mayo Clinic who confirmed her worst fears. She had early onset dementia, Alzheimer's type.
Obviously, I was very disappointed. I hate to sound this way, but why me? Why me with dementia? It was hard for me, it hurt me, but I go, well, I got to do it. I got to deal with it.
By her side throughout has been Pat's only child, her now 25-year-old son, Tyler. Was there a period of denial with your mom after diagnosis, honestly?
With anything like dementia, that first initial shock, if you just accept it, then you don't really care. And so I think there needed to be that denial because that led to the fight and the fire that's inside her.
Pat broke the news of her disease to the world.
I have something to share with my Tennessee family. Earlier this year, the doctors at the Mayo Clinic diagnosed me with an early onset dementia, Alzheimer's type, at the age of 59.
We were all emotional. She was emotional. And then she just quit and said, it's not a pity party. And we're going to get through this, and we're going to get through this as a staff and as a team and as a family.
Always the fighter, Pat never shied away, still determined to continue coaching. You look at it as an opponent?
Yes.
A beatable opponent?
Absolutely.
That same tenacity and grit was in her long before basketball stardom. She came from humble beginnings. Her 3 older brothers taught her to play. She continued in college at UT Martin and later coached the 1984 USA women's basketball team to their first ever Olympic gold medal. It's hard for me to say this, but there's no cure.
Right.
And it is that type of disease that robs you as time goes on.
The one thing that really drives me is having a team. Having my son obviously is the best, but going in and having my team, it just keeps my brain working.
Let's go, let's go!
I'm active.
Stay aggressive!
I'm doing things. I don't want to sit around the house.
You still feel you have something to teach them?
I always think I have something to teach them. Yeah, it goes out.
She began taking medications to help maintain her memory and stuck to a daily regimen suggested by her doctors.
I work out 5 days a week. They say that's very, very important. Keep my mind sharp. I got a lot of puzzles. I want to challenge you here a little bit.
But just a year after her diagnosis, Pat would make the difficult decision to step aside as the head coach at Tennessee.
It has been a privilege to make an impact on the lives of 161 women who have worn the orange.
She became emotional when talking about it in an ESPN documentary, Pat XO.
It was hard, because I didn't want to, but I felt like I needed to step down.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. Okay. It's okay.
In 2013, I went to visit her, and of course, Pat, as head coach emeritus of the Lady Vols, took me to a game.
Pat Summitt and Robin Roberts.
Got to be 2 of the most inspirational women in sports.
She was still attending practice at all the home games, but the memories of all those victories slowly fading. I don't like numbers any more than you do, but the 8 championships, the 16 conference championships, and to know that you can't really You can't really draw upon those memories as much as you would like. Is that a difficult time for you, Pat?
You know, that was hard at first, but you know, I felt like as time went on, you know, I thought I can do this. I can do this.
Sad news of the basketball legend's death at the young age of 64.
Alzheimer's disease ultimately is a killer because your body has been weakened over the course of time in terms of not being able to take care of itself or conduct your activities of daily living. You're bathing, you're eating, you forget to swallow.
About 200,000 Americans are living with early onset Alzheimer's, which hits before the age of 65.
And there is data that has indicated that the more education level a person has, the longer they can sort of stave off the symptoms, but then the faster they decline after that.
We all tried to pitch in at home doing...
It's a diagnosis all too familiar to actress Kimberly Williams Paisley. Her mother, Linda, was diagnosed with another devastating type of dementia at the age of just 62.
Watching someone with dementia deteriorate is really devastating. It changes the person sometimes to the point where they're unrecognizable.
Kimberly chronicles the heartbreak of watching her mom forget who she is in her new book, Where the Light Gets In. She says the diagnosis can be especially hard on loved ones.
That's one of the hardest parts of the disease is losing the personality of the person, losing what seems to be their essence. So it can be heartbreaking. Enlist help of friends, enlist help of family. Use the resources. Don't think that you can do it yourself.
For her team, Pat's fight taught them to cherish every moment.
It's reinforced to all of us. This whole thing is a gift. And I think these moments kind of crystallize momentarily how precious it is and how relatively fleeting all of it is, so enjoy it. Take every day and just suck the marrow right out of it and just enjoy it.
A life lesson that transcends far beyond the basketball court. What is it that you want people to understand about you that can help them?
It may not be the best thing, but you just got to make it what it is. And, you know, that's what I've done.
For Nightline, I'm Robin Roberts in New York.